The Nintendo Switch in 2024, despite this being the last year for this generation before the next Nintendo console comes out, still gave us a decent selection of games, I thought. It wasn't the powerhouse of 2023 releases, of course, but still I was pleasantly surprised to find new favorites this late in the life cycle. It is expected that they are winding down since they're probably preparing to release the rest of the games for next gen. So while it was a quieter year for the Nintendo Switch, much like this channel, I still have so much love for this console that will always keep me coming back for more. Even though I wasn't able to play as much this year, there were still a few new releases and remakes that really stood out for me. And maybe you might find a game or two here that you'd want to check out. Just a quick note that these are only based on the games that I was able to play this year. So if you don't find your personal favorite here, please feel free to share below what your top pick is for 2024. By the way, hey, I'm Kat. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, thanks so much for joining, or welcome back. A long time no see. It has been a while. I can't believe it's the end of the year already, but I am so happy to be back. I hope you're doing well and taking care of yourselves. This channel is and forever will be my happy space, so I'm really grateful for everyone who was very patiently awaiting my return and also checking in on me during my break. We have a few things planned in the next weeks here and into 2025, so if you want to tag along, I would absolutely love to have you. Subscribe if you haven't already. For now, let's talk games. Starting with a very fresh, fun, and new games that came out this year. Let's kick off with Super Mario Brothership. This is the last game that I bought and played for the Nintendo Switch. It just came out on November 7th, I believe. It's a brand new entry into the Mario RPG games, and it is what you can expect from this series. It's the iconic brother duo out on another adventure. This time there's seafaring, there's island hopping, and the main objective is to piece together the land of Concordia back together. Like other Mario games, this also does the different locations really well. So from island to island, there are rainforests, busy cities and jungles and deserts, and more. There's an ocean map that lets you plot the course for sailing, so you get to choose your own path in the story basically. The art style is cartoon-like, it's very colorful and saturated. The usual lighthearted elements are there when it comes to these two brothers. You'll also make new friends along the way, and you may even bump into a certain princess that Mario usually comes to rescue. I love the tag team battle system between Mario and Luigi, which alternates between the different buttons on the Joy-Con and keeps things fast-paced, much like the previous games, and for me, you just can't go wrong with a Super Mario RPG. Speaking of the princess in the Mario universe, of course, it's Princess Peach Showtime. This is a game I was actually really looking forward to since it was announced last year. I love that Peach finally gets the love that she deserves. This is her very first game on the Nintendo Switch and second game overall, with the last one being all the way back from the Nintendo DS days, so it's been long overdue, I'd say. In this game, Princess Peach bravely takes the spotlight and takes us on her own action-packed adventure. She and her Toad friends were going to enjoy a performance at the Sparkle Theater when the Grape and Sour Bunch suddenly takes over the show and kidnaps the stars of the theater, leaving no one left behind for the plays. Peach then has to team up with the theater's garden. Her name is Stella, and using her new powers called Sparkle, she can transform into different roles for the plays and take the stage herself. The different transformations each come with unique abilities, which helps her fight against the Grape and Sour Bunch's evil acting troupe. There are different floors to the theater with increasing challenge and difficulty, which Peach has to complete in order to rescue all the actors and finally save Sparkle Theater. I really enjoyed Princess Peach play as the hero of her own story, and also see her not just as the helpless princess we usually do in all the Mario games. With her different transformations, we get to experience various sides to her, and we love to see it. My next pick is another princess turned hero, and that is Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. If Princess Peach Showtime was Peach's only second time being the main character in the story, Well, this is Zelda's very first, so it is huge and very exciting, and huge for me too as a longtime fan of the series. I'm sure a younger Kat would have loved to play as the princess back in the day. I adore Link and his adventures, but I love that we're finally getting to focus on the girlies this year. If there's just one title I get to choose out of this entire list, it would have to be Echoes of Wisdom for sure. This made my gaming year with the Nintendo Switch. They also released a stunning golden Hyrule Edition Switch Lite, which I have been obsessed by. I've been waiting for a completely gold Switch since the Nintendo Switch released back in 2017 because gold Legend of Zelda Edition handhelds have always been my favorite when Nintendo comes out with them, and this isn't any different. This game starts as we typically see the Legend of Zelda games, with Princess Zelda captured by Ganon and the great swordsman Link coming to her rescue. This time though, in a sudden twist of fate, Link is dragged down into a mysterious rift on the ground and he disappears along with many others throughout Hyrule, even including the king, so Princess Zelda is left all alone to save her kingdom this time, as she explores the vast land, solving puzzles and fighting her own battles. The main highlight of this game for me are her echoes, which is the sort of power she gains by teaming up with Tri, an ethereal creature, and with it she's able to mimic different items she finds in the world, and it can help her throughout her adventure. Think using pots to create stairs or using beds for bridges. She's even able to mimic monsters so she can create their imitations to fight alongside her. This encourages exploration and coming up with creative solutions on how you can solve different puzzles using these echoes, and also using her other abilities, items, or even outfits to aid in her quest. I absolutely adore the homage that they did in this game to Link's very first video game, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. They did the same art style of the Link's Awakening remake for the Switch, and I think it's the perfect way to introduce Zelda to her first adventure the way that we were introduced to Link in his. I'd be extremely happy to see Zelda's games expand more. I know a lot of people were hoping for like a Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild style Zelda game, but again, as a longtime fan of the series, I love that they did this for her first video game. So thinking about what makes the Nintendo Switch special for me, one of the main things really has to be that it's a console that can be enjoyed by all ages. It's super present in the Switch's game library, even just in the 2024 releases alone. And what I mean by that is even non-gamers can get excited about it because there are lots of titles that are super recognizable, especially around this season, around the holidays, when you might be looking for something to pick up and try out for yourself or to play with everyone or gift others. The Smurfs Dreams is an epic 3D platformer that you can play solo or bring along a friend or family member for this wholesome adventure, surrounded by the beloved Smurfs characters, of course. Gargamel cast a wicked spell all over Smurfs Village, which knocked everyone fast asleep besides you. So of course it's left in your hands to solve what happened in this village and also wake everybody up to stop Gargamel's wicked plans. To do that, you have to travel into the dreams of the sleeping Smurfs, but what adventure would it be without some twists and turns? These dreams are also filled with nightmares, and all the challenges ensues. The Smurfs Dreams world, though, is vibrant and captivating and really invites you to explore all of Smurfs Village and discover all its secrets. You can play it on the Switch now, which is where I'm playing it, but you can also find it on Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam. Thank you Microids for sponsoring this portion of the video, but seriously, if you're looking for a brand new platforming adventure for solo or co-op play that is different from the typical platformers you can find on the Switch, I wouldn't skip on this one. We couldn't go past a gaming year without my indie gaming picks, of course, and for the very first one is Little Kitty Big City. Definitely for my cozy gamers out there who love just a little sprinkle of chaos. As the title suggests, you take on the role of a little kitty and you find yourself lost in a big city, so you must go on this quest to find your way back home. It's an open world adventure, so you can explore the city freely, and through the friends you meet along the way, the various stray animals, and completing cute little quests like luring pigeons and catching them to get a feather, or swiping a phone off the hands of an unsuspecting city person, even helping a random neighbor finish his artwork with your paint-dipped paws. You get to level up your kitty, which will let you take your exploration further, literally letting you reach new heights. You can even collect the most adorable little hats to wear, which is the most perfect cherry on top for this game. It is just oh so wholesome, and keeping the cat trend, I actually just realized my other indie gaming pick is Cat Quest 3. I've played and recommended Cat Quest 1 and 2 plenty of times on this channel before, and now we're back for the third time in this brand new Cat Quest. You are a swashbuckling pirate kitty in this hard-to-put-down action RPG. It takes place in a pirate-themed world called Caribbean. It's this archipelago that's filled with pirates. You gotta love the pirate puns in this game. And they're searching for a treasure called the Northern Star. Much like the last two entries, the world is colorful and vast and filled with exciting dungeons to explore, battles and puzzles, collecting clues, and more. You also get to craft your own story with a totally open world that lets you choose how to go about your quests or finding treasures, with the ultimate goal of finding the Northern Star for yourself. Minus the farming and crafting bits, I remember the first games reminding me of Fantasy Life back when I first played it, so if you enjoyed the combat and gameplay there, this is definitely a cat's tale you're going to want to be a part of, or even bring someone along with you with local co-op play. Just a little switch up from all the bright and cheery wholesome adventures is a much darker tale, but I do love a good mystery, crime solving, and the whole detective bit. Emio the Smiling Man is actually the first new title of the Famicom Detective Club in 27 years, so that is so crazy to think about. It's a point-and-click visual novel adventure game. Think the Professor Layton series, but a more mature, very much darker version. In this game, you play as an assistant private investigator, and you have to investigate a murder by visiting different areas in the map, talking to witnesses and other characters, and sometimes taking control of your fellow investigator, Ayumi Tachibana, as well. The Smiling Man is set in Japan, and the whole storyline of the killings is linked to an urban legend of a serial killer called Emio from 18 years ago, who wears a smiling paper bag mask and trench coat. Again, it's definitely unlike any of the other games on this list, but if you're interested in creepy sort of thriller stories, this was not just a memorable game for me, but also a memorable experience. I also have to mention a few remakes we got this year, which I loved. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is an HD Switch remake of the Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon game on the 3DS. And if you loved Luigi's Mansion 3, which you know I've also recommended so many times before, this is an obvious choice for you. It brings you back to play as our favorite ghost hunter, Luigi. This time you find yourself in Evershade Valley, a neighborhood that happens to be the prime location for haunted mansions for some reason. The once friendly ghosts suddenly turned not so friendly when the dark moon fell from the sky, so Luigi of course will have to investigate and hopefully calm the ghosts that reside the town by restoring the dark moon to the sky. I adore this series, and maybe not so cozy for everybody, but Luigi's Mansion is a very cozy game for me and one of my go-tos to this day, actually. Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door is a remake of the 2004 GameCube classic with the same name. They've brought along new story changes, quality of life improvements, gameplay updates as well, but with the same epic paper adventure. I never got to play the GameCube version, so I was extremely ecstatic when we finally got this for the Switch, because I know that this is such a well-loved title, and I hear that it's regarded as one of the best Mario adventures to this date. There's this secret treasure behind the Thousand-Year Door, and a mysterious organization called the X-Nauts are after it. With a map from Princess Peach and help from the locals, Mario must attempt to find it first and journey across this world made of paper. It's very charming and storybook-like, and it's undeniably an epic adventure full of charm. You may already know I have a soft spot for HD 2D RPGs, starting from Octopath Traveler 1, Octopath Traveler 2, Triangle Strategy, Live Alive, and now we have Dragon Quest III, the HD 2D remake. I've said it before and I'll keep saying it, I'm such a sucker for the pixel art paired with the gorgeous watercolor-like backdrops in the world, and then the 3D elements like snow falling or sparks of a flame or feathers falling from monsters at the foreground. It just ticks a lot of boxes for me visually. It feels very immersive and almost whimsical and perfect for these fantasy adventures. And as a true fan of the OG pixel art RPGs like the earliest Final Fantasy games, these HD 2D titles just take me all the way back to the days of simpler gameplay and graphics, but the games are so focused on a story that hooks you right from the start. In Dragon Quest III, the great hero Ortega failed his quest to defeat evil archfiend Baramos, so 16 years later his only child is summoned by the king to complete this quest and ultimately save the world. If that doesn't sound like a classic epic quest, I don't know what does. So friends, if you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Be kind to yourselves always, and until next time.